James Harden for the untouchable, true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I'm really excited to make my video on this guy because I'm very familiar with this fighter right here, and he's ranked in the WBA, but I still consider him a prospect. But he's very much on the fast track. He's only been professional for 2 years, already has 10 fights in 2 years. So we're talking about 5 fights a year, an average of 5 fights a year, and he's already ranked in the WBA, and that is none other than the fighting pride of Melbourne, Florida, Alex Bray. Let's talk about him because I interviewed Stacey McKinley about this young man back in last year, and I think at the time when I interviewed him, he was probably like 2-0 or 3-0. Now Bray, through a lot of wins, and I'm not gonna lie to you, he went to Colombia and Panama about 6 times. So they padded his record up real fast, but they eventually got him a fight where, he won a WBA trinket, a regional title, and he's now in the rankings. So, it's not far-fetched that in the next 12 to 18 months, Alex Bray could be fighting for a world title. So let's talk about it because in an already loaded weight class with so much talent, this is probably one of the young talents in America that hasn't been talked about enough. So let's talk about him. So Alex Bray is currently 19 years old, which is crazy because he's already ranked at 19 years old. But he's 19 years old. He's pushing 6'3", very, very tall, very rangy fighter for the weight class. Literally comes from it looks like he was built in the Kronk Gym lab because he has the same body frame as Thomas Hitman Hearns. Not saying he is Thomas Hitman Hearns, but I'm saying, he has the same body frame, and his trainer, Stacey McKinley, is a Kronk Gym disciple, so to speak. So, Tommy Hearns' body frame, Kronk Gym disciple as your trainer. It's interesting, right? Good fighter. He was a national Golden Gloves champion, and he did beat fellow Floridian prospect Lazaro Medina, so that's a good win to have there. Yeah, like I mentioned, 7 of his 10 fights have been outside of America. So obviously, I think the next step for him is going to be fighting in notable TV fights in America, so more people can know his name. What I'll say is this: he really does a great job fighting off that frame as a 6'3", 154-pounder. He uses the jab very well. He sets up the right hand very well. He chops down. If he throws the jab and the opponent ducks, he chops down with it pretty well. He did that pretty good in his last fight against Lester Espino on the zone when he knocked him on the first round. Lester kind of ducked and he just chopped that right hand down, and that was it for him. But does that very well. Obviously, I think when you're a taller guy, you gotta master fighting on the outside. So right now in his career, he's only had 31 rounds. So I think the key thing for Alex Bray moving forward is going to be rounds. It's going to be rounds. It's going to be experience. It's going to be seeing different styles. And I think, continuing to get on the best sparring you possibly can. Now, he's really intriguing because I've been interviewing Stacey McKinley since I've been interviewing Stacey McKinley since at least 2018, 2019. We're talking about 7 to 10, 7 or 8 years now. I've been interviewing Stacey McKinley. I haven't interviewed him in a year, but he's one of the most interviewed people in the history of this channel. So I've seen a lot of fighters train with Stacey over the years, and I've never seen Stacey McKinley so excited to train a fighter. He almost looks younger, revitalized. He looks like 10 years younger training this kid. I see a glow in his eyes I've never seen before. He really is taking a liking to this kid, and he believes that Alex Bray is going to fight for the world title at age 20. Now, look, he's 19 years old. I'm not sure exactly when his birthday is. Let me see if we can find his birthday. But if Stacey McKinley's prediction comes true, that means he'll be fighting for the world title sooner than we know it. So his birthday was just this. No, that's not him. That's a different Alex Bray. I don't know when is his birthday. That's probably the next homework assignment I gotta do, because. Yeah, I don't see a birthday anywhere. But look, if he fights at 20, that means it's going to be soon. And this division, 154, it's pretty hot. You got guys like Virgil Ortiz and Jeron Ennis and Bakram and Xander, and you got some heat in this weight class. Jesus Ramos. So if he even gets within the top 5, top 10, he's going to be in a real fight. But the funny thing is, what's crazy about Bray is Stacy hasn't even just stopped as far as calling a future 154-pound champion. He thinks that Alex Bray, because remember, he's only 19 years old, so you don't really stop growing until you're about 23, 24. So, and he's already 6'3". So think about it. If he grows anymore, you're talking about someone that could be 6'5", maybe even 6'6". Who knows? Who knows how tall he'll become? But if he grows 2 more inches, he's a 6'5" fighter. If your body generally matures, so if he, let's just say in the next couple of years, if he's able to, mature and put 30 pounds on, 40 pounds, you're talking about someone that could be 6'5", 215, 220. You're talking about somebody that could be a heavyweight, and that's Stacey McKinley has said that he thinks that when you talk about Alex Bray, you're not just talking about the next champion, and you're not talking about somebody that'll make noise at 154 or higher. He's saying that he thinks Alex Bray could be a heavyweight. So man, the way he talks about him gets me intrigued about him, and then watching him fight, you can clearly see there's know-how there. You can clearly see he knows how to fight as a tall fighter. I just think that he needs more experience, which, any fight, you can say about just about any fighter at 19, with the exception of a handful in the history of boxing. So, to me, he's one of the most interesting fighters at 154. Now, it's hard to say, what he should do, because really and truthfully, he's 19 years old. He's in that sweet spot where you can take your time with him, but he's also really good, and they do have big plans for him. So they do still want to fast track him. So you got to find a happy medium. I'll tell you this, man. I'll tell you one fight I would like for him. Now, I know Jaron Ennis is going to fight Usima Lima. I wouldn't mind seeing this kid fight Usima Lima, because I think he's going to lose the boots. I think an Usima Lima, someone like that, someone who's in the rankings but not no world beater, but, will have name recognition, something like that. Maybe even 2 fights now, a Magomed Kurbanov. I feel like those are the kind of guys Bray in by the latter part, the middle, by the first quarter of next year, Bray can fight those guys and beat them, honestly. But again, that's up to the discussion of Stacey McKinley. Either way, look, he's not wrong. Stacey's not wrong. If a kid is 6'3" and he's 170 pounds, he's gonna grow more. He's going to grow more. So will he fill out and be a heavyweight? I don't know, but I think he's someone that could definitely fill out into being a light heavyweight and potentially a cruiserweight. So this is someone that I think has a chance to really, really be one of the next top fighters in America. He's got one of the best trainers in America behind him, is Stacey McKinley, and he has a good head on his shoulders. Bray, I've been in the presence of a lot of fighters. Alex Bray has a good head on his shoulders. You can tell that he's really dedicated to the sport of boxing, and that he's not really distracted by other bullshit that comes with boxing. So he stays focused. I think he has a chance to go far. And to me, he's probably one of the most interesting prospects in America right now. So that's my take on Alex Bray, National Golden Gloves champion, someone that I think could be a champion in even a higher weight class. I'm talking about him now as a 54-pounder, but he might even be a champion in a higher weight class, because again, he's a growing kid, and these young men they grow pretty quickly. So he could wake up a 54-pounder today, and 2-3 months now he can be a 68-pounder. That's how some people grow. We've seen it in other sports before. So I'll go ahead and I'll leave it at that. But let me know what you guys think. Alex Bray, number 15 WBA contender at 154. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe. You won't be disappointed.